Hello Gemini, kia ora koutou katoa, welcome to my YouTube channel and also my Facebook page if you've come across this video on Facebook. First of all, I want to say a big, amazing, huge thank you to those of you who have subscribed to my channel. Thank you so much for that, and also for those of you who have been, liking, sharing, leaving comments, and maybe not physically sharing the channel or the page on this video on Facebook, but that too, but also sharing with others how you've come across these videos as well. So thank you for that. Also, I want to say thank you for the donations that I have, been receiving, and that's awesome. And I really do appreciate all of that. Okay, and also, so I do subscribe. I do encourage subscribing to the channel, because that way you'll get the video first, what comes up, and when I upload one, but also I won't be posting them or sharing them from here to my Facebook page, like I used to do. So there's some changes that I'm doing in my work, and creating different things for different social media platforms has been an interesting journey for me, but it's time to make some changes in there as well. So the videos are only going to be on here with these ones anyway. However, I'm going to be still putting up each day when I do each sign, or set of three, the links to those videos on my Facebook page. So just keep an eye out on them, on that. So I am running behind. I do sometimes run behind time depending on what my schedule has been like in the weekend. So as far as work and that sort of thing. So sometimes my day may be, the week may be a little bit out of sync as far as the videos go. So I do appreciate your patience with that. So anyway, what I really want to say too, the next thing is just reminder that these reads are general. So as most of you know, and for those of you who are new to watching these videos, they are general, so they may or may not resonate with you. If they do, then wonderful. If they don't, then just maybe don't throw it right out the window, because it may be more of a forecast for you. The other thing is this is for Gemini and Sun, Moon, Rising, and or Venus sign in your chart. So if you don't know what your other signs are, you can check out what they are. There is a link in the description box below that will take you to a website that has a free calculator on it, and it will work it out for you. And then you can maybe go and check out what your other signs are saying, which is, like I mentioned before, under those different planetary or hang on a minute. I was going to use another word. Under those different signs is in a Sun, Moon, Rising, and or Venus. So the Sun is like the star sign, as most people know pretty much, and there's the Moon, which is the emotional sign, Moon, and then we have the Rising, which is the soul, and the Venus, which is about the love side of things. Okay, so anyway, just a quick and a brief explanation for those of you who are not sure or wondering about that. So you might have noticed I'm kind of, as part of my feeling like things are changing, it's like I did feel like I needed to shift away from my desk. So and because that is for a different part of area of my life, my business, and things can kind of get a little bit congested. So it was time to make a move, or have a separation or growth, or for expansion and that sort of thing. So, and just to shift the energy. And now that I have different space, or if things are changing, it's kind of like I need to create new space. So I kind of feel like this is partially some of your message to Gemini, that there may be some expansion in your life. So it means when we're expanding, we're having to make, adapt or shift things around within ourselves and also without of ourselves. So it may be something emotional, or something mentally going on there where you're having to change the way that you're thinking or you're thinking about things. So as well as the physical. So generally there's usually a shift in all areas that it will affect. So it's about, and this has been for me a long time coming, and I can kind of relate that for you as well, for not all of yous, but not in the same way, but it may have something to do with something else. Nevertheless, it's about growth, or something has something that you've been working on, or something in your life that has been progressing and you've been learning as we do and evolving, whether it be your business, whether it be your job. And it's for some of you, it may be that you've sensed something coming and you may be exiting out of your job. And it's like you've been kind of in a way preparing for it, or semi-preparing for it, having been mindful about that this could happen. For others of you, it'll be some sort of movement within your business, and it may be a sense of culling, or it may be a sense of culling, shifting, adapting, and in order to grow. And I'm not talking necessarily staff, but it could be a culling a way of thinking, as mentally, emotionally, that sort of thing, spiritually, all that sort of thing. But in order to get your business to grow, for some of you, it will unfortunately be culling staff, and you may have to let go of some people, or it may be that you're needing to get them to cut back their hours, or cut back their hours. Or your hours into moving into something else. But there's a coming and going, or a toing and froing. But it could be for some of you is just literally creating space. And it may be for some of you that you may be increasing your staff, or increasing, as you're expanding, and it's not necessarily culling in a way because the money's not coming in. It may be the culling, maybe that you're shifting, you're moving people or things from that to that, because it's growing in that area. So it means separation as well, but also looking at the weaknesses and the strengths of whatever it is that within yourself, like I say, or with whatever is working, what isn't working. So it's kind of like, okay, looking at what isn't working, and it may be through trial and error, that you've been testing some things out, or doing some surveying, or you may have been doing some classes and workshops like I have been doing, and it may be in your fine-tuning it, or refining it, or defining it, whichever way you are looking at. But I'm hearing like fine-tuning it to wrap it all up, and that's kind of where the feeling of it is going. So in reading you for next year, as you move in, and it's kind of like can bring it in together a bit more, and just like tighten everything up a bit, and tying off any loose ends, and because I'm hearing like there's always room for improvement. There's that sort of thing, or adjustments, new learning, and relearning, and that sort of thing. So there's and I feel like it's starting to make sense for a lot of you now, what was happening and why things happened, and what as they happened, why when they happened, as pertaining to you, as far as your growth, okay, which is really pretty cool. So there's some readying for you to move into something else within your business, like within your family. There's maybe shifting into family. So just like thinking outside and how this picture, the storyline in this reading or messages that come through work for you. So it's not about making it fit. It's just like, and you'll know exactly what they're talking, what Spirit are talking about as they talk through me. So interesting. I put out like earlier on, okay, we're just going to do 3 cards for each sign, and a little spiel. So anyway, I thought I was going to start with the Oracle cards. Turns out I'm not. So first of all, we have the Two of Pentacles, the Five of Pentacles, and the Eight of Cups. So what I'm feeling here is that these are kind of, this lot here, where are we going? Okay. So I kind of feel like this Two of Pentacles is like something a lot of you are maybe now. So, and with the Two of Pentacles, for me, it's about, there may be a little bit of juggling or a little bit of balancing of finances, but not just the financial, like money, and the career and the materialistic side of things, and the business things. It's that there is a part of that too, but it's about juggling your energy as well, and how that works, and juggling the way that you're thinking about it, as in going and coming in like quite grounded, and being like not being in the ego too much, but finding that balance between the ego as well. So with that energy, because in this one, it's I perfect the art of balancing responsibility. So this, which is kind of where what was in the background, what was coming through with now that I'm hearing in the background with what was said earlier. There's that sense of responsibility for your future, about towards with you, but also the future of others that are like your family, and those people, if you're in a business and you have staff, that for them, as for that side of things as well. But I do feel like it's like for a lot of you, there's there's that sense of feeling like you're more able to plan now, whereas this last 10 years, and maybe a little bit longer or maybe a little bit shorter for some of you, depending on where you are with your journey, has been and I know for me has been a very interesting 10 years in learning about planning, and not so much learning about it not being able to plan. So there may have been, it's more like learning and it's been cool. It's been a little bit frustrating, but it's been cool, because now and I've always known, and you may be too, but you may be quite resistant at the background. Some of you maybe not so knowing, but deep down that there's something bigger than that. And so there's a sense of going in with trust and faith in yourself, and trust and faith in the universe, that where you are going, or what has happened, in these last 10, 20, for some of you, 5, 6 I'm hearing, and maybe for some of you about 2 or 3. And for a handful of you that may be watching, it may be more starting for you with your cycle of this, like starting in the last 3-4 weeks, and maybe even the last 3-4 months. Might have been the COVID thing that has triggered you to go into learning about not having to be too pedantic about having plans as such, but have plans, but having that feeling or that energy in the background that you're able, there is some versatility in there and flexibility. So, and that's kind of where that I'm getting in that, because he's on this looks like earboard or ear, or you could liken it to a surfboard, but an earboard as well. And it's like things may be up in the air for some of yous, but but it's about balancing. So this is about balancing yourself in the sense of grounding, just like even though if things are up in the air, getting that stance there, and just putting it out there and going with the flow of it. So I feel like there's that, even though there's that juggling act, and it's not always a great place to be, but it's going to teach you some skills about juggling things and getting things going and getting things moving. And sometimes there is a little bit of a juggling act when we're starting or beginning something new, okay, with that. So with the Two of Pentacles, so you've obviously started doing something, and maybe looking at something or venturing into something, or have an idea or a thought that's starting to come around. It's like you've taken a step, or you're going to take a step. It's only natural things are going to be juggling with how you used to be to how what life used to be to what life is now. So it's kind of, but you'll get there, okay. The Five of Pentacles, now there is a sense of loss of faith or wealth in some way, and you might be feeling, and you might go into this space, but I'm feeling like I feel like you may have already been in this space, you know, feeling desperate and destitute. So it's kind of, you know, I feel like some of you are more coming out of it. So what I'm feeling here is, you know, going back to that, it's balancing that. But it's like this may have been for some of you a space where you were before. So I feel like, you know, Spirit are just, you know, the cards and Spirit are just saying to you, you know, have a look at how far you've come from to where you are now. And then some of you may be coming into this space now where, okay, and you may be there now, or you may be in this, coming up to the space or feeling it coming. But it's there to teach us, you know, sometimes we maybe overspend, or we overdo things. So there's that sense of like when they have the ego, is that overinflation of whatever, you know, attitude or whatever, and, you know, feeling, but then the other side of it is like underinflation as well, where we, you know, whether it's like the I want to say submissive, but it's, I want to say self-nurturing, where we are self-sabotaging sort of space as well. And so there's those two extremes there. So they're just, you know, bringing them to finding that balance between, which is where I'm feeling, you know, some of this is coming from, like I say, on an energetic level. But the Five of Pentacles is there. So there's something moving, like you figure it out, but you might have gone in that space. And some of you might go in that space, because sometimes in the journey when we, you know, when we're starting or going into some things are maybe not going quite as right or well as what you thought they were going to be, but hey, this too will pass. It's like where there is a will, there is a way. Okay, so do continue to have faith and trust in yourself and in the journey, and like looking through to the light as to how you can work around getting yourself out of the situation, whether it be like mentally, emotionally, physically, whatever, or the whole three put together. It's going to take a teamwork effort, which means you're going to have to find that balance and bring everything together to work your way out. You've done this before, Spirit is saying. You can do it again. Okay, and you may not be, it may not be to the degree of how it was before. It may be less, and it may be a little bit more intense than another time, but this is like a lesson as to bringing something up that is like, you know, and it's like, you know, but it's not being resistant of what you need to do, or what you know is required to do to help you shift into this other space, okay, or another space. And then we have the Eight of Cups. So I kind of hear it's identifying what it is, and accepting and finding a way to cure it in a way, or heal it, to shift it basically. Okay, then we have the Eight of Cups. So there's something here where there's, you know, the Eight of Cups is about emotions, it's about feelings, it's about intuition, and it's about relationships basically. So there may have been some relationships. It could be your relationship with money, you know, at the end of the day, because those two pentacles have come in, and how you perceive money to be, and, you know, listening to those old old stories, how people, our parents, you know, and or grandparents, society, and the way in how we should do things, as not as per se to the way it could be done, because you see, like with all these different ways people are building businesses now, that's not like in the old, you know, traditional type way. But on saying that, it's, you know, there's still, you know, a certain amount of or hard work or clever thinking, clever work that needs to go into it. But it's the different ways in which our financial income can come in, you know, is very different. So some of you, I feel like is skipping out in a good way, or learning how to adapt that or shift from that way of thinking into creating your income now, or the way, your energy now income or financial, the way you think about things financially. So it could have been doing your head in, but I'm hearing like with that is too, it's, you know, with the cups being about creativity. So that's where they're kind of going. It's, yeah, there's some creative thinking and being and doing about that, but also remembering that you do have an intuition. So this one here is I seek the answers to life's big questions, okay? So talking about, you know, basically what we just talked about, but also, you know, allowing ourselves to go out there, to learn more, to experience more, and to, you know, maybe throw yourself out into something, or put yourself not in a, you know, in a thoughtful and mindful way, and aware, and being in an aware way as well, to, like, it's almost, you know, to not let the emotions of others or emotions of yourself that have been influenced from others' thoughts or feelings about something, you know, stop you. But it is being about mindful and aware, though. This is about not going and doing something out on a limb, on, you know, like letting your emotions get in the way, in the sense that where you're coming from a space of, like, being, you know, of sadness, like you just want to run away and that sort of thing. This is about being grounded, and using those emotions in another sense, is like, as, you know, okay, there's something going on here, and I don't like where I am, but it's like, okay, that's your motivation to, like, and finding a way, a healthy way, a positive way, without, you know, going, utilizing the negative emotions in the sense, yeah, that's the best word, yeah, okay, the emotions coming from a negative way to propel you forward. So it's kind of, you know, so you're not going, you know, like, so you're not just leaving a job because blah 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 blah. You're leaving it because you want to leave it, leaving it on your own terms, okay? You're leaving it for all the right reasons, or all the best reasons, all the, you know, that serve you for your highest good, and that sort of thing. So it's leaving on a good note, not so much just a negative note. And some of you, yes, you will be, there is quite an overwhelming energy that I'm feeling, and you will go on it, but it's like, this is like, and that maybe there are things going on that may push you out where you do really need, but I'm not talking about those ones. I'm talking about other stuff where there may be something that's shoving you out, or you're shoving yourself out, basically. And it's like, without having finished what you were wanting to do in here. It's like, you know, where are they talking about? You know, when we get so emotionally charged, it's just stopping and taking a breath and then making a decision. It's kind of what they mean by that. So whichever way you're moving from. So, for instance, you could be having something that's going on in your life that's got nothing to do with work, but it's like so emotionally charged, and all these other thoughts and feelings are coming in. It's like, you know, and you may be like putting it out at work, and it's kind of maybe not doing your job as well as you think you are, it's from your point of view. So it's kind of, and you may not have the energy. So it's kind of like, just like pulling yourself together is what in a way. So others of you, it will maybe having something to do with work. And it may be that's, you know, so it's kind of like what they're talking about is, you know, having an exit plan, and not just going out on a whim, is what they mean by that. So, whoa, there's a lot coming through for that. So with different explanations and for different scenarios. So there may be something that is, you know, maybe not sitting right with you, as well, for some people. And then it's like, and you'll know with the timing. And sometimes it is going to seem, you're going to need to just run with it at times. But, and even if there are some emotions going on with you, it's kind of just really listening to your intuition and defining whether that is your intuition, you know, guiding you, or is it just like a full-on emotion because you've kind of not, that's in your mind, it's more maybe your mind or your logic that's kind of, maybe there's the balance between that's where they're going. And so they're just saying to be mindful about the emotional side. So somebody may offer you a suggestion, say, and it might not it might make sense to you, but then it might not make sense to you because of the emotional side of it. So somebody might just say, well, hold on, take a little bit longer to, before you go, and just let, maybe another day or two, or maybe another week or so before you do go, and just to wait for your emotional state settling down. So you're making a decision of right mind, basically, a grounded one. I feel like that's where they're going with that, as partially as well. Okay, so, whoa, that was a long story that's brought to like 3 or 4 words cut short. So there, but on the other side, it's like, yes, you're seeking life's big questions. And it may be causing, and there may be a lot of information going on, but it's like, unless, it's like just one step at a time, okay? So I am going to go to like an oracle card now. This one is from the Energy Oracle card deck. So there you go, those 3 cards there, 2 of Pentacles, 5 of Pentacles, and the 8 of Cups. So the 5s, there's some sort of change in there as well. There's usually something going on around the 5s, which is usually something to do with, something coming up in the air, whether it's the Pentacles is this. So there may be a change of influx of money, or with the emotional side in your energy as well. But there's definitely some sort of change. And it, where you're balancing and trying to figure out, okay, with this, this thinking and feeling about this loss of wealth or faith around you at the moment. Could be both of them because of where it's going, but it's just like looking a little bit deeper in that. So, and just having some trust and faith in yourself, and having a look back at the past and finding that balance, because you've been in sticky situations before. Like I say, some of you's maybe not as sticky or challenging, but in some of you's maybe this may be a little bit more than you put out for, than you wanted to come. But this will pass. This is just about, sometimes we've got to just sit still a little bit. So I feel like there's 3 cards coming out of here too. So we'll just see, okay, what have we got for Gemini here? Spirit, what's coming in for Gemini? What's coming in for Gemini? So they're having a good old show. Okay, I'm going to take that one. And that one is deceit. So you may have been dealing with some sort of deceit. And the next one is the Angel of Love. And I'll just see what the other one comes out. So deceit. So that's number 25 in the deck. So it could have been to do with around relationships. Okay. So there's 2 is, because 2 is about relationships. I only want 1. So, and 5 is about energy. So there's some energy. There we go. There's that last one. So yeah, with this one. So with whatever is happening, there's been some sort of deceit that's been going on that's probably, reared its head or reminded you of something. So just keeping that energy that may be around you, or there's something that's happened that's triggered it against, or a thought or a memory about something. So just, don't let that get under your skin, is what people are saying. What people are saying, but also what Spirit is saying, and also what Gemini is saying as well, for that one. So, and shifting your energy about that into, because it's like 5 is about energy for me. So it's like being mindful that everything is energy and vibration. And so if we're putting out that vibration, it's kind of like what we're gonna pretty much get back for us. And sometimes there may be something that's just reminding you. You may see that in someone or something that's popped up that's triggered it to, like, to help you switch back into your positive mode. But it's there, and it's just a reminder, okay? And if this is around you now, it's okay, it's shifting that. And some of you may be like going into that, is maybe going into a situation where you are leaving a relationship or a friendship in some way, which is the energy has been shifted. But in order to to shift it for yourself. We have to get out of that energy, okay? So we can begin to feel a more positive energy and therefore emit it, okay? And it's quite hard to like keep, I know it's quite hard, well, challenging. Some of you, you know, I used to use the word hard, but some of you may be using the word hard. It's challenging to keep your energy up high vibrational when you've got such a lower vibrational or denser energy that's always very heavy or negative and that sort of thing going on around you. So it's about stepping away from that as well. Then we have the Angel of Love, which is 49 in the deck, and she's just amazing. So she's like, brings in this love, and you know, 4 is about foundation and grounding for me, and finding security. So there may be that you're building some security in the different, you know, with the direction that you're going, or different directions, or a new direction that you're going, and also different directions or in the same direction, but there's maybe a few things coming off that. So it's just starting with what is presenting itself now and moving on. So from there, and the next one will become more clearer for you, even though you know there's a path down that way. We've got to learn a bit about this and that before we can continue moving. So the Angel of Love, so something about grounding, creating a foundation and a firm one, but it's also about, you know, family. For me, is security, grounding as well, stability, foundations, pretty much. Building on that, or building one, or creating one. Okay. So, and number 9 is a completion of a cycle. So there's something that's coming to an end in some way or form, where maybe you're thinking, and so there's this angel comes in to help you to move into that transitional place, to finally, you know, allow yourself to move into the transitional place, bring in all this information together so you can go into the next phase of whatever it is that you're learning about, or whatever is happening around you, okay, into a new beginning, a new understanding about what was happening, so you can shift into a new phase of that, but opens the doors to shift into these other new phases or new things that you want to do, because that's been cleared up. Okay, that's just like, yay. So then we have the 4th, number 38, the 4th chakra, which is Archangel Raphael, which is the heart chakra. So he's come around as well. And he's number 38 in the deck. So 3 for me is about balance. So we talked about that before, about bringing some sort of balance. And number 8 is you know, infinity, not just 8, but if you have a look at that sign, and whether you do it that way or not, the infinity sign, it's like there's those loops in there. So it's like there's a I was going to say a sequence, but it's the sequence is that there is a time and a place again, but it's like, I want to say, oh, where are they going? Okay. Because when I'm hearing balance, and I'm seeing like the yin and the yang on one side, so it's going, you know, there is a cycle to everything, and you're going to go through this cycle, then you sort that one out, and then there's a lighter, and then you go back into that. So it's about finding that balance of, you know, the negative and the positive. Where there is light, there is darkness. Where there is darkness, there is light. Okay, so but they're putting one there, like in the yin yang science symbol. But it's knowing that you are that being as the infinite being, that because that is infinite. It just keeps going around in those loops and those circles, and it gets to the point where it meets, where there's that balance, where there's that, and it crosses over. So it's kind of like just, you know, balancing out those as well. So both sides. And seeing, you know, remembering that actually you are the infinite being, and that you are the one, we are the ones, that you are the one that can create or shift things around as well, and create whatever it is that you feel like you want to create, basically. Okay. So I have this crystal here. It's interesting because I wasn't going to... I said to Spirit, right, I'm not going to do it because I've shifted things around, and I'm not anywhere near my laptop or my computer. So this crystal here that I want to share with you is Do More Tearite. And it's one that came to me earlier this year. It's a blue one. And it enhances organizational abilities, self-discipline, and orderliness. This is believed to be due to the effect it can have of balancing the throat chakra and enhancing communication between lower chakras and physical energy, physical energy. It reduces difficulties of scattered mind and disorganization. It encourages one to see and accept reality and react to it in an intelligent manner in one's own behalf. I think that sums it up really well. It's just like, okay, I forgot about that. But I didn't really. Okay, interesting. So there may be a little bit of that going on in your life. It's because it's kind of like, for me, like shifting and moving things around and whatnot. So, and a bit of scatteredness and just bringing it together. But it's kind of part of the processing of that, moving into something different as well. Okay, so you may be finding that you're buying things or letting things go or whatever, and new things are coming to you. Very, very interesting. So anyway, I hope that helps. I'm going to leave it there for now, with lots of love, peace, harmony, joy, excitement, and adventure, and also prosperity and abundance. And that comes from myself, sent to you, with from my amazing spiritual team and my amazing all my guides and helpers, of course, are included in there, as well as the amazing galactic and multi-dimensional energies who are working with me as well. So, as well as, I was going to say, I haven't forgotten, the sign of Gemini. Okay, bye for now. Lots of love, and we shall see you next Monday. Okay, see ya.